Fable! We finally get to see some actual proper extended gameplay, even though it's not, as enough to, satisfy my urges, but this looks absolutely phenomenally awesome. Now, the game has been delayed to 2026, and that is the sadness from, that's the biggest news that we got today. There is news of other stuff that I'm going to be covering in another video, but in this one we're talking about Fable, and it looks great. We've finally got to see some actual raw combat with magic mixed into it. The graphics look absolutely awesome. Just look at the fur on that creature. It's just awesome. And don't get me wrong, look at the landscape. I'm assuming you can traverse all of this landscape that you can see. It just looks great. Let's just pause this here. This scene here looks just so phenomenal. I know it is like lots of empty, and maybe this is going to be the way the game starts, but you can see the town in the distance, the kind of shade, the shadow of it, the silhouette. It looks really good. It looks really, really good. And as it's playing along, you've got this bit over here with the guy beating up on the stuff, and you've got the townsfolk. But this area here, I'm going to assume like that over here is going to be like probably a central part of the story where we have to go to. It's the only thing that really truly stands out. The rest of the buildings kind of look the same. You've got this central piece here, I guess, which will be our middle focal point. And the great thing here is, like, as you can see, the NPCs are just walking around. It feels like it's alive. It feels like it's being lived in, and hopefully we'll get to see more of that. These houses are, I assume, going to be enterable, so they're going to be like taverns and bars and maybe games and inns and stuff like that you'll be able to interact with, shops that you can go into rather than just having to deal with them at the stalls. Maybe the stalls outside will just be literally like your fruit and veg stuff, but if you're looking for swords and magic and stuff like that, you can go into one of these buildings to actually acquire that. This looks really, really cool. Even the design here, like, this to me is Xbox's probably grand jewel. This one is, they need to get this one right. And if they need to delay it in order to get it right, I'm way okay with that. I'm even okay with them delaying it because they're worried about GTA 6 cannibalizing their sales. That's actually a smart thing to do, where you don't want to release games, that are around you. Just look at Horizon and Elden Ring. They decided to compete with Elden Ring, and they got their asses whooped and sent back packing. So that's something you don't want to do. Of course, then it does become a problem when GTA 6 announces they're delaying to 2026, that it doesn't coincide with that. Notice how I didn't say if they do, but when. I still believe it's going to be delayed to 26. But Fable has been pushed to 2026, and this just look at that scene there. The god rays coming through, they just look really, really bright. This is really, this is like taken from X, so it's got ultra compression, so it's got like, I think like worse compression than YouTube, but it still looks amazing, those shadows. And this is pre-alpha footage. Can you imagine what this is going to look like in actual release? And even the combat, it actually looks really satisfying. That mace that's being hit looks like it's got so much weight behind it. Just look at it. Boom! And then you've got this awesome parry that you see over here that completely opens up the enemy for you to continue getting those extra attacks in. So it looks like the combat is going to be just as good, if not better, than what I was expecting anyway. And then you've got this scene over here with the whole fire, you know, comboing your ability, your melee attacks into magic, which is always welcome. This scene here looks like it is completely and utterly cutscene related, so this is probably the only one. But when we're looking at that creature, now obviously because it's a cutscene, they're able to push the polygons a little bit more, but it looks insane. Right, just look at the hair that's sticking out from it. It looks so just detailed. And then when we come over here, just look at the way the fur on it is moving. It looks so good, the way it just interacts with his arm movements and whatnot. And over here you can even see its teeth just grizzling. I mean, this looks really awesome. This just looks really awesome. I cannot wait to play it. And this scene over here, some may be wondering, why is this even in the game? Why does it exist? What's the purpose of this? And this is paying true homage to those that love Fable, because terrorizing chickens was one of the things that you just did in Fable. Everyone did it, and if they didn't, they missed out on it. But now you can live out those dreams and do it all over again in Fable and Reboot, or whatever this is going to be called, because you can now kick them to orbit, and it's just great. You know, that chicken just went flying. Look at it, yo, straight away. But I love the fact that they actually put this in there and put it right at the end, because it just shows that this is going to be a labor of love for them. Playground Games is doing everything they can to kind of bring back that original Fable feel and expand on it, make it bigger, grander, better, but not forgetting its roots. And I think that's the most important thing. Usually when you get games that are being remade, or a sequel is being made, or something of that kind, they generally forget their roots, where they came from, and try to do something different. And I'm happy that they're not doing that here. I'm happy that they're trying to, you know, they're bringing what they know to the table, that what Fable is, and then expanding on what Fable is, and by making it bigger, grander, better, while keeping those small little nuances, those small little Easter eggs in the game to remind the people that we got you. We know you remember this. We know these moments were special to you. I got you. And that's the message I'm getting from this, from the developers. I'm sure that they're disappointed that this game is going to 26, unless they were fearing, you know, 2025 Christmas with GTA 6. Then I'm pretty sure that they're not disappointed. It's probably the right move. But as a pre-alpha footage, which is new footage we haven't seen, whether it's the horseback riding, the, you know, the dynamic lighting coming from the scenery, the shadows, to just this one little scene here, tells me that this game is going to be really special. And to me, this is probably going to be Xbox's biggest game. I think this is probably, at this point, bigger than Halo, bigger than Gears, bigger than Forza. I think this is their la creme la crop. This is it. I think this is their biggest game, and they need to make sure that this delivers on all accounts and it fires on all cylinders. This is going to be the big one for them. So if they need to delay it by 3 months, 6 months, a year, I'm perfectly okay with that. As long as they deliver a perfectly good game, good story, not something that needs to be padded to 1,000,000 hours by having 1,000,000 side quests. You know, it's fine doing that, but just at least make them relevant. The way Indiana Jones did. I enjoyed doing the side quest there. So, yeah, I'm super excited for this for next year. I know we're still in February, and I am disappointed that it's not going to land this year, although theoretically speaking, it was supposed to land right at the end of the year. So, pretty much next year, this year, it wouldn't really make a difference on the grand scheme of things, depending on when it's actually launching next year. But the fact that this scene right here is paying true homage to the true fans, I love it. And Playground Games, you smashed it. But chat, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Are you disappointed with the delay? I mean, is it so far out in this end of December pretty much right at the end of December that it doesn't really matter if it's going into 26, depending on how far into 26 it is, obviously. And do you think that part of the reason that they are delaying it is because of GTA 6's apparent launch this fall? It's going to be interesting, but one thing for sure, I think this is the big one to beat. This is the one, if they get it right, is probably going to break records. Love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I will see you in the next one. As always, remain legend.